I know what you're thinking. Dang, Gray! How long is this stinking news update? Hey, I've got to do my job right and return with an informative banger. This is like a lot of videos combined into one, but don't worry, this isn't normal as you guys know, and I'm back on track. Hey guys, I'm the Great Jedi. I hope you are all doing well and welcome back to the channel. This is the long-awaited Star Wars news update video where we're going to talk about all the latest news from where I left off in my last Star Wars news update video, and it's been a while since I've done a Star Wars news update video. So I do want to thank you all for your patience and let you know that I am officially and finally back, baby. And not just the news updates, but a bunch of other content coming your way, so stay tuned. But in regards to this news update video, it does cover a lot of information, so if there's something you already know about or don't care about, don't sweat it. You don't have to watch the whole thing to get all the news. Just watch what you're interested in because I put timestamps for this entire video in the description for you. Now, without further ado, let's just get right into it because we've got a lot of stuff to cover from new Star Wars games, including Hunters, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, Jedi Survivor, Outlaws, Bounty Hunter, Dark Forces, the Classic Collection, and a few others as well, to new movies being announced, including Star Wars Episode 10, the Grogu Movie, and Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy, to shows including Andor, Skeleton Crew, the Acolyte, Bad Batch, and Ahsoka, to even other bits of news, including some statements made about Star Wars from the creator himself, George Lucas. So let's kick it all off, starting with the most recent news in Star Wars gaming, that being Star Wars Hunters. So going into this game, I didn't really expect much because it's a mobile game. Not that mobile games are particularly bad, it's just they typically have a different standard, and I'm not really one to be excited for mobile games. Although this one was also coming to the Switch, so it had my interest, especially when it was announced. They said it was going to be released in 2021, and then it got delayed till 2022, and then got delayed again, and again, and again, and again, all the way till 2024. So 3 years worth of delays in total, which if you guys know me, you know I typically don't have a problem with delays. And in fact, I'm all for them and wish people in the industry would do it more often if needed to deliver a better or complete product as long as they communicate. Well, when it comes to this game, they did something very interesting. So before launching the game, they would be adding content to the game that we couldn't play, like new heroes, maps, and game modes. Some of them were even limited time game modes like Boulder Bash, and even went as far as making trailers and posting them publicly, and they did that for quite a while. And it got to the point where a lot of people were and just started losing interest because they wouldn't release the game and they just kept working on extra content that wasn't necessary before launch, rather than putting all their focus on getting the game fixed and released so that way us players could actually play all that added content. But the game launched, and let me just say, I am super surprised by how good and fun this game is, especially for it being a mobile game. I know it's technically not just a mobile game, but in terms of performance, how it looks, and how it's being marketed, it's pretty much a mobile game that you can play on the Switch. But I'll be the first to say that's not a bad thing. Like when I played it on the Switch, it felt good, and it didn't feel like a mobile game. It played well, and still looked pretty decent. Is it the best looking game? No, but they weren't going for that. Plus, it's like one of the only multiplayer live service Star Wars games going on right now, and it's completely free. The best way I can describe the game is that it's Star Wars Overwatch, and they're continuing to add content. Like, they just had a limited time mode called Hutball, which appears to be very popular, and people are even requesting it to be a permanent mode in the game. So they're always mixing it up with fresh new content, which is nice. So I feel like overall, Star Wars Hunters is a success in my book, and they've got my interest. I have fun playing the game, and I just want to play more of it. In fact, I'm not the only one. A lot of people are enjoying the game and have even been requesting the game to come to consoles such as PlayStation and Xbox and even PC. And in an interview with design director Scott Warner, he answered this question and unfortunately said we don't really have any plans right now, which definitely tracks with Zynga's history of mobile game releases. But for those playing Star Wars Hunters, let me know in the comments down below, are you liking Star Wars Hunters or not really? And if you do like it, be sure to let me know what kind of Star Wars Hunters content you would like me to cover on the channel. I have some ideas in mind, but if you want something specific, just hit me up. Now, as I was talking about before, Zynga has been keeping the game fresh and fun by adding new content, and that's no different for Season 2. So let's just get right into the Season 2 update and see what changes and new content they added from the patch notes. So right off the bat, they have a new arena pass. They've got a new Vader's Castle map. They've got a new hunter named KX Security Droid KAOS, who's available with this arena pass. They've got a screenshot right here showcasing some new skins. They got the Vader's Castle map in the background, which is nice. They've got the new hunter here off to the left. And this is what they have to say in regards to the Season 2 hunter. KAOS arrives in the arena. Her enhanced armaments take the brutality of the Empire's KX series security droid to a whole new level. KAOS can use the Bulwark ability, connecting her shields to protect herself and allies, while also providing range support with her blaster. Don't let KAOS get too close, otherwise she will close the gap with her lunged uppercut before backhanding enemies away. Her ultimate ability, Aftershock, damages and knocks upwards all enemies around her, making them easy targets for allies to eliminate. As a formidable tank, KAOS can push her team forward to victory. And then they got a screenshot here. So let's move on to the balancing. So Season 2 balance update. The following changes are listed below for the Season Star Wars Hunters balance update. So Vex, they had a weapon damage change. It went from 12 damage to 13 damage. The Sentinel class has a suppressing shot knockdown duration. So if you have levels 1 through 5, it goes from 2.2 seconds to just 2 seconds. We got a buff for Vex, and we got a nerf for the Sentinel. And when you hit level 6, it goes from 2.7 seconds to 2.3 seconds. So a nerf for the Sentinel. I am not sure what it means by level 1 through 5 and level 6, to be completely honest. I know what it's talking about with that knockdown duration, but I have no idea what the levels mean. Does that mean like the progression levels? I wouldn't think so, right? So they're saying like once you hit level 6, the character becomes more powerful? That doesn't really make much sense. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. I'm still new to this game, guys, so bear with me here. There's still a lot I gotta learn. So we got the suppressing shot heat consumption. So levels 1 through 2, same thing. I don't know what all these are levels. I have no idea what these levels are. Hey, maybe one of you guys in the comments can go ahead and explain that to me. Anyways, let's continue. So we got the suppressing shot heat consumption. Level 1 through 2 is going to be a 25 to 30, so a little buff here. Level 3 through 4, 20 to 25. Level 5 through 6 is 15 to 20. So basically this shot knockdown duration is a nerf. Then the suppressing shot heat consumption is a buff. Then we have the combat shield health right here, which looks like is also getting a nerf. So level 1, it goes from 275 health to 250. Levels 2 through 5 gets 300 to 275. And level 6 is 325 to 300. So they're losing about 25 HP there. Now moving on to the Aron Tal Hunter. So for those that don't know, that's the Mandalorian looking hunter. So looks like he is getting a buff, which is kind of funny because I thought he was pretty good before. I've never got to play him, so I don't know. I'm just kind of going off of me dying to him as well as just seeing gameplay here and there. But I guess he needed a buff because he got a weapon damage increase from 10 to 12. His weapon spread has decreased, so it's more accurate now, and his weapon recoil is also decreased. So he got buffs all the way around there. So it's going to be a lot more accurate, and it's going to do more damage. Alright, now we got Slingshot. So his unstable shield health, level 1 will be 300 to 275. So it's going to go ahead and decrease there. He's getting a nerf by 25. We got levels 2 through 3, which is 325 to 300. Then we got levels 4 through 6, which is 350 to 325. Now we've got the unstable shield explosion damage, which is level 1 through 2 is 50 to 40. So another nerf there. Less explosion damage there. Levels 3 through 4 is 55 to 45, so it's going down by 10. And then levels 5 through 6 is 60 to 50. I do like the fact that they are keeping it consistent across all the levels. I'm assuming the levels have to do with the progression with the hunters. I don't know. I'll have to look that up if no one explains it to me in the comments. So, Skora, we got an unstable cocktail ultimate. So the damage and healing decreased from 20 to 15. So it went down by 5. So she's getting a bit of a nerf there. The ammo capacity is reduced from 12 to 10. So yeah, I was actually liking this hunter. I've only got to be Skora a few times, but she was starting to grow on me. Unfortunate that she got a nerf. Then we have Graz, my boy, my main. Let's go. Graz mains in the comments. Let's see you. We got the Warcry damage reduction. That's nice. So it looks like he's getting a buff. Let's go. Which is, hey, we're going to need that for that new hunter that they got coming for Season 2. So level 1, we've got from 0 to 35%. So went from having no damage reduction to now having 35 damage reduction, which is really nice. Really nice, especially when he doesn't have any counter at range. So I think that's a nice change. Levels 2 to 3 is 10 to 40, and oh, we have a little bit of drop in inconsistency here, because level 1 you have a 35% change. Here's just a 30. And then level 4 through 5 is another 30% change. It goes from 15% to 45%. And then level 6 is 25 to 50%. That's only 25% here. So it goes 35, 20, 20, 30. Or sorry, not 30, 25. So I don't know why they stayed consistent all the way through, all the way up until Graz. I don't know. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just something I noticed. All right, now we got Sprocket. We got an acceleration speed increase, so the time it takes to reach maximum movement speed. Okay, so that's nice. You got a small little buff there. Now let's get into all of the ranked mode, event shop, and events. So to test your skills in an all-new ranked season, reach Kyber 1 to earn a legendary Xena costume and complete with players from around the world from a spot on the leaderboard. Play ranked mode events to earn additional rewards as you make progress. We've opened a new event tab in the shop where you can spend credits earned from events on exciting new costumes, weapon wraps, avatars, stickers, and more. You can access this new shop tab from the shop directly or from the new event shop button in the event screen. This will replace the daily login reward calendar. Got it. Okay. Okay, so there's just little like UI changes and letting you know certain rewards for hitting certain ranks and stuff. So that's nice. So our new hunter KAOS is preparing to exact revenge on Graz in the Power Paradox event. This season's Pinnacle Clash. You will be randomly assigned to KAOS or Graz's team, and you will need to complete challenges to earn unique rewards, including an epic KAOS costume and weapon wrap. So that's kind of cool. This kind of reminds me, I mean, it's not exclusive to Battlefront 2, but it kind of reminds me of those community events in Star Wars Battlefront 2. I mean, I guess it is a community event, right? Because it says you'll be randomly assigned to either one of the teams. I don't know if this is like a community challenge where all of us progress together, or if this is an individual thing. But anyways, it kind of reminds me of limited time rewards, right? For participating in certain events. I know it's no longer limited anymore, but they kind of did this with the Farm Boy Luke skin, as well as like the Leia skin, right? They would throw in some skins here and there. So I do like it when they do this stuff. You know, it kind of rewards the people that are playing the game consistently and are there for those events and, you know, all that good stuff. Anyways, it says complete challenges to score points for your team. All players will receive a special avatar for winning or for the winning team at the end of this event. So that's cool. And then it says learn about the new friendship between the Sentinel and KAOS in a new A Growling Empire multi-part event. Complete all 3 parts to earn new avatar stickers and more. Check back often to see if new parts have started. All right, now we've got the new map. Now here's the big info right here, baby. Introducing Vader's Castle. Arena fans are familiar with many of the Empire's most iconic locations, but this is a rare opportunity to explore a battlefield inspired by the mysterious stronghold of one of the Empire's most notorious leaders. This map embodies the legend of Lord Vader. Following pools of lava, reproductions of ancient Sith artifacts, holocrons, and even holograms of Lord Vader himself. See, this sounds pretty cool. I haven't been able to play on this map yet. I really want to. Looks pretty dope. I saw the trailer, I posted it on the channel, so if you guys haven't checked it out, be sure to do that if you guys want to see some of that gameplay. But I can't wait to play this on stream again. And we've got a new cosmetic content. So there are 327 new pieces of cosmetic content going out in this update. Wow, that's a lot. I mean, I know there's like a lot of it's like stickers and stuff like that, but that's interesting. These include costumes and weapon wraps, stickers, avatars, and victory poses. Yep. Now all of this content will be available immediately. It will be released through the Arena Pass, bundles, and events. Okay. So there's 82 costumes. All right, so 82 skins there, 82 weapon wraps, 40 avatars, 70 stickers, 53 victory poses. Okay. I mean, still 82 is quite a lot, dude. That's a lot. Some are really cool like this. I don't know if they're all cool like this. I don't know. Some might be pretty simple, but either way, that's still a lot. Anyways, so let's get into feature updates. Control layout presets, or want to change or try out different and match control schemes to match your preferred playstyle. In the controls section of the settings menu, you can now choose the option to use 2, 3, or 4 finger controls if you're liking. Okay, so that's nice. So, and then onboard, I'm not gonna read all this, but it's pretty self-explanatory by the titles. You know, you guys can, if you guys see anything you want, you can go ahead and pause it. But there's just pretty much control layout presets, onboarding improvements, Hunter's Path updates, viewing cosmetics, Arena Pass tier skips, daily login calendar removal, and then, ooh, new devices supported. That's pretty cool. It's pretty big. So the Samsung Galaxy A15 and Samsung Galaxy A15 5G smartphones are now officially supported. So that's always a nice touch that they're trying to add more mobile devices that are compatible with this game, because that means more people are able to play, which is cool. Now for Season 3, it hasn't been released yet, but we still have some news. So there was just a Nintendo Direct which revealed a new Hunter, a new map, and new skins, as well as the date that Season 3 is coming, which is September 26th. So we've got a lot to look forward to, and for those that want to stay up to date on everything Star Wars Hunters for Season 3 and beyond, be sure to subscribe and hit that notifications bell. Now, as we're talking about free games like Star Wars Hunters, I mentioned on my streams that if you have PlayStation Plus, LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga is free this month, so even if you don't have the room, be sure to at least add it to your library so that way you have it. And speaking of other free games, if you have Amazon Prime/Prime Gaming, you get some free games every month. Sometimes they're garbage, but sometimes they're good. And lately, I've been getting some pretty good ones. Like over the past few months, I've gotten LEGO Star Wars 3, The Clone Wars, the original Battlefront 2, and even Force Unleashed. I know I'm late this time around with these titles in this video, but I did let you guys know on time through the live streams, just like most of this news that you'll see in this video. I also post a lot of this stuff on Twitter, so if you have Twitter, also follow me there. If you don't have Twitter, don't even bother downloading it just to follow me. It's not even worth it. But I'm back on track with these news updates, so if you're subscribed, you can be sure that I'll be letting you guys know these news update videos on time again. Now let's talk about the new Star Wars open world game that's coming out, Star Wars Outlaws, because we've got a lot of information to break down before the game releases, and I'm going to give you all the information that we know about this game. This is my last Outlaws news update. So for starters, let's talk about some of the basic details that we've learned. So there are a total of 5 planets, those being Tashara, Akiva, Kijimi, Kanataka, and Tatooine. And there's a reputation system that is linked with the syndicates, and in our last video we talked all about the reputation system, so we're not going to go over that stuff again, but we do know all of the crime syndicates that will be in the game, and those are the Ashiga Clan, the Pike Syndicate, Crimson Dawn, and the Hutt Cartel. There's also an exclusive interview with Game Informer where the devs got to explain some more little details about how important the reputation system is to the overall experience, and that link is in the description for those that are interested. But I really don't think it's worth going over here since we've already talked about all that, and if you missed that, no worries, I have an entire Star Wars Outlaws playlist that you can check out. Not only that, but in our last news update video, we also went over the main characters, so we're not going to repeat that stuff either, but if you are interested in other little details, like the descriptions of those characters, syndicates, and different screenshots, then be sure to check out the Ubisoft Outlaws website. The link to that is also in the description. And for those that are interested in a lot of the accessibility options and settings, from the heads-up display, visuals, controls, audio, stealth, space, and much more, the devs go into detail with lots of different settings the game will have, and you can customize to your experience in each category. Most of them were pretty standard for open world games like this, but if you are interested in all those specifics, be sure to check out that interview link in the description. Now, in regards to the story, there was some behind the scenes information in an exclusive interview where they talk about the making of Outlaws and some other details in the story, but I won't go over that here because of spoilers. But from what I've gathered from the interviews, there are very little details, and it just seems that there's going to be a few cameos. So once again, there's a link to that interview in the description if you don't care about spoilers and would like to know about some of the cameos in the game. Now, for those that are interested in potentially getting some extra skins, they made it where if you have Disney Plus, you can get this free Nick skin. You just have to have the same email connected from your Ubisoft Connect account to Disney Plus. And then you can get another skin known as the Forest Commando Finish for the Trailblazer for free as long as you redeem it before launch. So the links to get both of those skins are in the description. But to the main stuff, the game will be out on new gen consoles such as the PlayStation and Xbox and on PC. Just note that on PC it won't be available through Steam because Ubisoft wants to go through their platform on Ubisoft Connect, or you could even go through the Epic Game Store. Now, in order to run the game on your PC, these are the specs you need. So, as you can see, it's a pretty heavy game, but I'm still cool with it as long as it runs with these specs because I'd much rather them be honest here on the spec sheet than just giving us what we want to hear and then it be unplayable even on the best machines like Jedi Survivor and other AAA titles that are releasing nowadays. It's just honestly quite ridiculous how unoptimized these games are. But given Ubisoft's track record, to my knowledge, their Avatar open world game and previous titles have been playable at launch and actually run well, which is definitely a good sign. I just really hope there's not a lot of game-breaking issues and that it runs well, especially since my PC has above the recommended specs. I am hopeful because of their track record and because the game went gold early on July 3rd, so they've had a lot of time to play test and adjust if needed, if they spent that time wisely, but time will tell. And for those that don't know what it means when a game goes gold, that just means that the game is finished and ready to be distributed. Now, this game will have a download size of about 65 gigabytes, and this game will also be available to play offline. You just need an internet connection to download and install the game. Now, the game comes out on August 30th, as you guys already know, and there's 3 editions of the game. There's the standard edition that's priced at $70, which is pretty normal for a new gen AAA title. The gold edition that's priced at $110, and then they have the ultimate edition that's priced at a whopping $130. So what's the difference between all these? Well, the standard edition is just the base game, and if you pre-order, you get the pre-order bonus, which is the Kessel Runner bonus pack, which are cosmetics for both the Trailblazer, which is the ship for those that don't know, and the Speeder. As for the gold edition, you get the base game, the pre-order bonus if you pre-order, of course, 3 days early access to play, and the season pass, which I'll talk about in just a minute. Now, the Ultimate Edition comes with the base game, the season pass, the pre-order bonus if you pre-order, 3 days early access, a digital art book, and 2 different cosmetic bundles that include the Rogue Infiltrator bundle, which has a cosmetic for Kay, Nyx, the Speeder, and the Trailblazer spaceship, and the other bundle is the Sabacc Shark bundle, which has a cosmetic for Kay and her blaster, Nyx, the Speeder, and the Trailblazer spaceship. So that's what you get with the different editions, so let's talk about the Season Pass. And for those that don't know what a Season Pass is, after you buy the game, you can buy the Season Pass, which is basically a package of extra content that the developers add to the game for a set price. So an example of that would be you buy Outlaws for $70, but then there's an extra 3 missions at an extra cost of $10 per mission. But a season pass would give you all 3 of those missions for a set price instead of getting the extra content individually. So sometimes I'll offer a deal and say the season pass is $20. Hopefully that makes sense. So for this season pass for Star Wars Outlaws, here's the roadmap. We're going to be breaking this down starting with what you can get day 1. Yeah, you heard me right. Launch day. So the first day this game comes out, August 30th, you will get access to an exclusive mission called Jabba's Gambit and get the Kessel Runner character pack, which includes a skin for Kay and Nyx. Then there will be another DLC that'll come out sometime in fall of 2024, and that will include a story pack called Wildcard, and it comes with 2 cosmetic bundles called the Hunter's Legacy and the Cartel Ronin, which gives you cosmetic skins for Kay, Nyx, the Trailblazer, and your Speeder. And then there will be a final DLC that will come out sometime in spring 2025, which includes a story pack called A Pirate's Fortune. So let's dive into what we know about these story missions. For the exclusive mission called Jabba's Gambit at launch, the description says, just as Kay is putting together a crew for the Canto Bight heist, she receives a job from Jabba the Hutt himself. Turns out that ND5 owes Jabba a debt from years ago and he has come to collect. Now, it's no secret that they've been using Jabba to market the game because he shows up in trailers and stuff, so I wanted to let you guys know that Ubisoft did make it clear that even if you don't get the season pass, Jabba is still in the game. They said, to clarify, Jabba the Hutt and the Hutt Cartel are one of the main syndicates in Star Wars Outlaws and will be a part of the experience for everyone who purchases the game, regardless of the edition. So that is nice to know. Then for the story pack 1, called Wild Card, it says that Kay is hired to infiltrate a high-stakes sabacc tournament, but as she crosses paths with the notorious gambler Lando Calrissian, she soon learns that another game is being played. And then for the second story pack, A Pirate's Fortune, they said the Trailblazer's reputation precedes Kay as she runs into a veteran pirate, Hondo Hanaka, who's looking to settle old scores with a ruthless gang of pirates. So there you guys have it. That's all the information we know about the season pass at this point, so I'll be sure to keep you guys updated as more info gets revealed. Now, you can play these exclusive season pass missions a few different ways. The first way is by buying an edition that comes with the season pass. The second way is if you just got the base edition, you can always upgrade to the season pass, which will be $40. And then the final way is just buying them individually, which they don't have prices for right now. So ultimately, if you get the base edition, you're paying $70, and the gold edition is $110, which includes the season pass. So getting the gold edition basically just pre-orders the season pass, because you can just upgrade from the base edition to include that season pass for the same price difference of $40. Which then maybe makes some of you wonder why on earth there is an ultimate edition for $130. And that's because the ultimate edition includes those 2 skin bundles and the digital art book. So to break it all down, the game is $70, the season pass is $40, and then the 2 skin bundles and art book is another $20. And if you decide to pre-order, then they will give you another skin pack, and then if you pre-order the season pass, they'll give you 3 days early access to the game. It's that simple. Everyone wants different things, but if you ask me, it's really not worth it from what I can tell right now from the information and history we've been given. But who knows? I'm still open-minded, and I will still be buying the game for you guys to cover it on the channel. I'll take the hit, but be sure to use me, man. If there's any questions you guys have about the game or any content you want me to make on it, just let me know. I am here to serve you guys, so be sure to let me know what you would like to see on the channel in the comments down below, or even feel free to stop in a live stream and I can probably show you the stuff you're looking for in live time. But yeah, there's a season pass in this game, which isn't surprising. It's not surprising because it's Ubisoft and that's just what they do. They've done this with other single player games they've made, but there's just something in me that doesn't like that season pass idea being implemented for a single player game like this. In fact, it really has nothing to do with it being single player, I guess, because I'm not against the idea of there being a complete game, and then if they want to make a DLC expansion, charge for that. I'm not really against that if it's done right. I think a good example of that would be Skyrim. They had a complete game filled with content and it was fun and people wanted more, so then they released some DLCs and then they charged for it. I'm cool with that, and I think most people are, but here it doesn't really feel that way from what I can see, and I do have a pretty good grasp when it comes to this stuff, and I'm almost always right. Granted, I won't be able to tell for sure until I actually play the game and DLCs, but given their track record and how they're advertising it and how much they're charging, it just doesn't seem worth it to me. It really seems greedy, especially when you have paid DLC content that's being released on the first day the game comes out. And the only way you can play that extra 1 mission is by forking over the full $40. Like, bro, that's not even extra. That should have gone into the base game. It's done. Now, from a development side of things, there can be a few reasons for it, but honestly, I don't think it's a great move, especially when they're charging, once again, $40, and we really don't even know what we're buying. Like, we know they're story packs, but we really don't know how in-depth they're going to be. So, as a consumer, this is a risk, even with the Season Pass trailer. Which, by the way, if you guys are interested in seeing that Season Pass trailer, it's on the channel, and the link is in the description, as well as all the sources. Now, with all that said, I wouldn't recommend anyone pre-ordering the game just because overall, I feel like we don't have enough information, or if we do, it's not really looking the greatest. I'm still curious about a lot of things in this game that they have not revealed, like the saving and things like how it actually feels, or is there anything more to the game? But we'll find out soon enough when I play it, and I will relay all that info to you guys in my review. Although this is how I'm going to buy and play the game, and if you are going to buy it because you want to play it at launch, then I'd consider doing what I'm doing. So what I'm doing is buying and playing the game through Ubisoft Plus, which is Ubisoft's gaming subscription service. I've never used it before, but I decided to get it for a month because you get access to the Ultimate Edition as long as you're subscribed, as well as their entire library of games, and it's only like 18 bucks a month. And I wasn't lying when I said in my stream that if I didn't have a channel covering all Star Wars news, I wouldn't buy it, especially for this price. So my thought process is, how can I cover the game on the channel for as cheap as possible? And that is through Ubisoft Plus. I believe I can finish the game and record enough gameplay for videos in a month. Plus, I'd get access to the launch day season pass and 3 days early access. Now, the downsides of me doing that is that I won't own the game and I'm pretty much just renting it. But in my case, I really don't care, especially if I'm not even sure I'll like the game. Then, if I do end up liking it, then I'll wait for it to go on sale and then get it for 20 to 30 bucks, if not less. And that means I'll own it and still be able to play it early at launch to cover content for you guys, all for paying less than $50 in total. Although it is always a risk, because if I do need more than a month for content, or if it doesn't end up running right on PC like most AAA titles nowadays, then I will have to fork over the $70 for the game on PlayStation. But even then, that means I can make a video talking about the performance on PC and then let you guys know. And I got to play the Season Pass DLC and the game for $90 instead of the $110 price tag for the Gold Edition. Although I wouldn't own that Season Pass mission compared to the $110 price tag, where I would be able to own it and have access to the next 2 story packs when they come out. But I could also just wait till spring 2025 and subscribe to Ubisoft Plus again to play those story packs. But then I'd be at that $110 price tag and only be renting the season pass compared to owning it. So in short, both sides have risk, but at least right now I'm only risking 18 bucks, and I really think I can finish the game a couple times in this month and be able to make the content I need, and will be saving myself money. I mean, even if I do end up liking the game and want to own it, I'll just wait for a sale, which will probably happen in no time, and then I'll be able to play on the hardest difficulty and play whenever I want. Plus, for that 18 bucks right now, I get access to the whole library of games and not just the Ultimate Edition of Outlaws. So I'm planning to also play the Ultimate Edition of Avatar on my other channel, Gray Plays Games, so consider subscribing over there if you're interested. Now, when it comes to the Ultimate Edition, I really don't care about the skins, especially for an extra 20 bucks. I think that's just overpriced, but then again, that's just how industry is right now. But since I have Ubisoft Plus, I have it, and that's great because that's content for you guys to see in the skin showcase that I'm planning on making. In fact, I've got lots of videos and streams planned all around Outlaws, so stay tuned. I'm planning to stream the game as much as I possibly can, and then my videos will be focusing all around the game, including a review, tips and tricks, showcases, season pass missions, and much, much more. I really don't know how long it will take for me to finish the game, but I'm going to try my best to finish the game 3 times on stream. The first time I'm taking my time completing everything, getting a good gist of everything. The second time will be a speed through of the story and testing out different decisions if possible. And then even a third time on the hardest difficulty, but we'll see. I'm not saying that will all happen because it's like I said, I'm not sure how long all that will take, especially when I'm trying to spend time cranking out these videos for you guys, but we'll see. In other words, I'll be streaming it a lot, so stay tuned. Now, I know a lot of other content creators got early access to the game and were able to interview the devs, so if you guys are wanting more information than what was presented to the general public, you guys can check around for things like that, because some creators got some extra inside information that I'm not able to confirm. So if you want to see some exclusive gameplay, then I'd check around. But by the time this is coming out, I may even be playing the actual game on the channel. But I'm not able to confirm what's actually true or not, since I didn't get early access, other than the 3 days before launch that I'm going to get through the Ultimate Edition. And I can only confirm and share things that I know for a fact, which are things that the devs share. Although we do see some things from the trailers. One of the things we see are different times of the day. But overall, from watching the gameplay trailers, I just feel like that there should be more. I want more, and I know I shouldn't. But I don't know, it's sometimes hard to tell by looking at it. I really need to see how it plays and feels. I just feel that if you're trying to sell a game, you want to show a bunch of variety, but at the same time, they chose a character like Kay Vess, and I'm not sure what type of variety she can have in a game like this. Like, there's the blaster gameplay and some abilities, okay. I just don't want it to be repetitive. I also see improvements from the later trailers as well compared to the first set. We talked a little bit about this on my live streams, so if you guys do want to know more specifics about that, then consider checking out the live streams. Now, while we're on the topic of Star Wars games, let's talk about Star Wars Jedi Survivor, because it's coming to past-gen consoles such as the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. But there is a lot of concern about if it's going to be able to perform and be playable, because it was even unstable on the new generation ones for a lot of people, especially on PC. And speaking of that, early this year they released another patch number 8, where they had included 2 new features, those being audio ping and a new high contrast mode, and then also some fixes for performance and stability across all platforms, because the game is still struggling to perform. It's mainly been on the PC side, and it has been getting better over the patches, but if you still take a look over on Steam, you'll see that several players still are experiencing horrible performance issues where the game just isn't playable. So this update was not only needed, but seems like they'll still need another one for performance. Do they have another one planned? I have no idea. They didn't say. They could be done updating the game, or they could be hard at work on another one. But regardless, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated if they decide to update the game again. Now, with all that in mind, Jedi Survivor coming to past-gen consoles is like a double-edged sword, and I truly see both sides. It's just a ridiculous situation because there's players that only have last gen and want to play the game. But then again, they can't even get the game to perform on the intended platforms. I mean, their actions show that they don't care and that they are just wanting to follow the money, and that's the main priority. So what makes you think they're going to make it playable on those past-gen consoles, you know? So I totally get why there's controversy and would like it to also come to past-gen, but only if it works, which I don't have faith that they can do just yet. And if they do, it's kind of a slap in the face to the ones that already bought the game on the intended platforms and it's still not working for them, but they don't care because they already got their money. Anyways, let's talk about all the details about Jedi Survivor coming to past gen. So for starters, the release date is on September 17th and it's going to be about $50 for pre-order, which is pretty funny because you can get Jedi Survivor on the PlayStation 5 for cheaper than that, but that's also because it's been out for a bit and on the PlayStation 4 it will be new, but they just want their chance to get as much money as possible. Now, a lot of people have a lot of questions about this past-gen version of Jedi Survivor, and the devs answered some frequently asked questions, so let's get right into what they say about the game. So in regard to the Deluxe Edition, they said that it is not available for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Players who purchase the Standard Edition on disc or digital for PlayStation 4 will need to digitally upgrade to the PlayStation 5 Standard Edition before they can digitally upgrade to the PlayStation 5 Deluxe Edition. Players who purchase the digital Standard Edition for Xbox One will need to digitally upgrade to the Xbox Series X or S Standard Edition on the same platform before they can digitally upgrade to the Xbox Series X and S Deluxe Edition. There is no Deluxe Edition upgrade path available for owners of the Xbox One disc version, so make sure you guys keep that in mind. Another question that was asked was, does the Star Wars Jedi Survivor on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One have a pre-order offer? And then if so, when will I receive the pre-order offer content? They said yes, players who pre-order the Star Wars Jedi Survivor on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One will receive cosmetic items to outfit Cal with Obi-Wan Kenobi inspired Jedi Survival cosmetic pack in Star Wars Jedi Survivor. You will automatically receive access to the pre-order content when the game launches on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on September 17th, 2024. These cosmetics can be equipped as soon as the feature is available in-game. So that's basically the same pre-order stuff that we got for the new generation. Someone also asked, is there a way to get early access to Star Wars Jedi Survivor? And they replied saying Star Wars Jedi Survivor launched April 20th, 2023 and is available now on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Coming to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on September 17th, 2024, and there are no plans for early access for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One at this time. Now, another question that was asked was, does Star Wars Jedi Survivor require an internet connection to play? And they replied saying, players who purchase a physical copy of Star Wars Jedi Survivor will be required to connect to the internet to install a day one patch, but can play offline after that if they so choose. players who purchase the game on a digital storefront will receive the patch with their game download. So pretty much that's kind of how all offline games work, so really no surprise there. The next question they answered was, will progress or save files from Star Wars Jedi Survivor transfer over on the same platform? And this is what they had to say. Progress or save files from Star Wars Jedi Survivor can transfer from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5, Xbox One to Xbox Series X or S, and Xbox Series X or S to Xbox One on the same platform. However, players cannot transfer progress or save files from the PlayStation 5 to the PlayStation 4. The PlayStation save file transfer will require an update, so make sure you update your PlayStation 5 before migrating your saves. People were also wondering if the game will have official support for Steam Deck, and they cleared this up by saying there's currently no dedicated support for Steam Deck for Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And speaking of concerns about the game running, people were asking if there was going to be an option to choose between a quality or performance mode. And they basically said no, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One will feature one standard display setting. So let's just hope it's playable. Now, another really good question that they answered was, will Star Wars Jedi Survivor be included in EA Play? And they went ahead and said members of EA Play can play Star Wars Jedi Survivor on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S today, but Star Wars Jedi Survivor for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One will not be on EA Play at launch, but EA Play members can purchase the game for a discounted price, which, like, I get it, bro, but still, like, come on. Now, they are also offering, like, these PS4 and PS5 bundles for the game, and they use this term called dual entitlement, and someone was just kind of asking what that means. And they said that the Star Wars Jedi Cross-Gen Bundle Edition gives you dual entitlement for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Dual entitlement means that you can upgrade a copy of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Star Wars Jedi Survivor from the PlayStation 4 to the PlayStation 5, or if you have Xbox, you can do it from the Xbox One to the Xbox Series X or S at no additional cost. Simply put, it just gives you access to both games on both the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 or Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S. And to piggyback off of that last question, people are wondering how they can benefit from the dual entitlement on their PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X and S. And they replied by saying, if you buy Star Wars Jedi Cross-Gen Bundle Edition and start playing on the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, you'll then be able to upgrade your copy once you have the corresponding next generation console, so the PlayStation 4 to the PlayStation 5 or Xbox One to Xbox Series X and S by downloading to your new console. And then for those that were wondering if you can upgrade from the PlayStation 4 to Xbox Series X and S or the Xbox One to the PlayStation 5, that is a big no. The dual entitlement upgrade is only available when you upgrade on the same platform, so PlayStation with PlayStation and Xbox with Xbox. And if you are wanting to take advantage of these offers, just note that this edition is only available on the digital storefronts. People were also wondering if once they upgrade, can you go back to the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One? And they basically said yes, you'll be able to play Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Star Wars Jedi Survivor on the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One after taking advantage of the dual entitlement offer. Now, while we're on the topic of Survivor, I wanted to let you guys know that I'm actually doing a New Game Plus playthrough on the hardest difficulty right now during some of the streams here on the channel. So if you want to come have some fun, please do. We got a death counter going. You can place bets with the GeForce credits, which you can earn just by watching, and all kinds of other fun stuff. Although, I will warn you in advance, there may be some screaming/raging at times when it comes to some of the boss fights, alright? It's moving a lot, way more than normal. Yeah, look at that crap. Of course. Oh, come on! Really? Stuck in this stupid corner, and of course it gets me, right? Yeah. Makes sense, makes sense. Magnetic tongue, makes sense. I literally freaking stupid as heck. Never mind. Screw you. Okay, that ain't connected, but okay. Why did it? Oh, man. I still get staggered. I literally dodged. I don't even know what the frick that was! Oh, I do. It's the magnetic tongue. I can't even get up. I can't even get up. Turning it. This broken game! I didn't switch the targeting system. I never turned it off. And when I put it back on and I'm moving to the left, why isn't it shifting to the other guy? I died because of reasons, because the developer said, let's just have them randomly die when they're jumping away from both enemies. Oh, I'm a genius developer. I'm so smart. That's how we can add 6 hours of playtime to our game. Hold on. Strike. Save it, our win. Let's go! Let's go! Eat that, you idiotic developer! Eat it! I told you! Let's go! Woo! Let's go! That's right, baby! Eat it!
Now, we did it.
Boom! Let's go! I have a feeling I'm going to have to pull out gray mode quite a bit on this playthrough. Now, moving away from Star Wars Jedi Survivor into another couple Star Wars games that have released, both the Star Wars Bounty Hunter Remaster and the Star Wars Dark Forces Remaster have released since my last news update, where I've talked about all the details regarding the game. Now, I've never played these games yet, but from what I've seen and heard, they were both good remasters and some of the better ones that Aspyr has done as of late, especially the Bounty Hunter one, because I know that the original had some really weird controls, and I've heard that they fixed that and made it feel a lot better with the remaster, which is definitely great to hear. Now, speaking of Aspyr remasters, let's talk about a not-so-good remaster, the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection, because that had a horrible launch in terms of the amount of game-breaking bugs and glitches, which is ridiculous. And then if you tack on the amount of storage you need in order to play the game and the actual price of the game, ouch. I don't know what you want me to say, man. That's just bad. Now, they have released a few updates trying to fix these issues, and they have fixed some, but in doing so, they also broke other things, and it's unfortunately still a mess from what I've been hearing. I personally haven't played it in a while, but when I did play it, we did run into issues, specifically with the online play, and it just wasn't it. So I just stuck with the offline stuff. Regardless though, they just updated the game again and claimed to have fixed a lot of the issues while also improving the servers, so here are the patch notes. I'm not going to go over all these because they are just fixes to some of the bugs, but if you are interested in the specifics, feel free to pause the video or check out the patch notes for yourself. I put the link in the description. Alright, now let's talk about Star Wars Battlefront 2, and I know what you're thinking! No way, Gray, how is there news for Battlefront 2? Well, for those that don't know, the modding community has been hard at work and really cool, making lots of things over the years, and one of those things has been Kyber servers. And for those that aren't familiar with Kyber, it's ultimately a place where you can have private matches and also be able to use your mods in a multiplayer setting away from the EA servers, so you don't have to worry about getting banned and stuff. So you get to just create your Battlefront experience how you want. Now, as someone who has tried it before with Sparty, while also trying to make videos on it, I know that it was really cool, but there were still some things that were rough around the edges at times, and that's not a bad thing. It's not going to be perfect. This is a service they're providing for free, and they've put so much time and effort into this, and overall, I think it is a major step in the right direction for the game and community. I'm one that is very appreciative and really respects what they are doing. I'm just saying that there were some areas where it could have been improved, and the creators know that, which is why I'm excited to share Kyber version 2 with you guys. And I can't wait to start making content around this because it looks like an absolute blast. Now, they are still working on Kyber v2 and have since switched the Kyber v1 servers offline, but anyone that's complaining about that, just do yourself a favor and just shut up. I know you're really excited and you want to play, but if you want it to get better, have some patience. Patience! That's right, tell him, Master Yoda. Regardless though, this Kyber version 2 looks so good and a huge step up from even Kyber 1. I mean, just to name a few things that they're working in the category of Kyber plugins are a battlefield spawn menu system, a gun game mode like from Call of Duty, refining the mod browser and mod page experience, and much, much more, even outside of plugins. Like, so much stuff where I'd have to make an entire video just talking about all the cool things that Kyber v2 is going to bring. So if you are interested in seeing a video like that where I break it down and share with you guys all the information regarding Kyber v2 and even a mod series, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. Now, keep in mind the Kyber v2 has to do with mods and is only available on the PC version and not consoles, unfortunately. I just wanted to let you guys know that Kyber v2 is around the corner, and I believe it's going to be a game changer for the community. But while we're talking about Battlefront 2, let's talk about the Battlefront 2 event that's on every platform both PC and consoles. You know, the one that's supposed to happen twice a year. Every New Year's and Star Wars Day, May 4th. Yeah, that one. The Heroes Unleashed / Unlimited Power event. Well, it's no big secret that it pretty much never works, but this time it actually did. Well, kinda. Not really. It actually broke the game during the event. So, for some clarification, for those that don't know what the Heroes Unleashed / Unlimited Power event is, it basically makes everything that you can buy with battle points 90% off. It gives you an increased number of reinforcements and heroes available to play simultaneously, with fast spawn timers and double XP in effect in game modes such as Galactic Assault, Capital Supremacy, Extraction, and Strike. So, in short, it's very fun, chaotic, action-packed game mode that only happens twice a year. And even then, it doesn't even work more than half the time. Although, this time it did work. It just happened to break the game. It's ridiculous, bro. And instead of me just trying to tell you what went wrong, why don't I just show you a clip from my stream where we stream this event? Unlimited power! Heroes Unleashed! It's finally here. Well, maybe. It is Battlefront 2 after all. 3PO! What are the odds of this event working?
Sir, the possibility of success is approximately 3,720 to 1.
No. It's not true. That's impossible. No! No!
Crazy thing is, it's all true.
Oh yeah, baby. I get to play the worst event on the most played day every week. And the one time this event, the Heroes Unleashed event, the best event, actually works. It's the best experience. I get to lose all my currency of credits and rewards and loot boxes, and get a broken game in the process, where I'm forced to play heroes I don't want to play, with no star cards, with the default weapons, with no attachments, and most of all, broken lobbies, because people don't want to play this game like this, on top of all the normal bugs and glitches we normally get. Welcome to Battlefront 2. So yeah, there you guys have it. This really shouldn't be happening, but it does. That's how Battlefront 2 rolls, man. Anyways, I do want to make it clear that all those game-breaking issues that were happening with the progression stuff only happened during this event and has since gone back to normal. Now, speaking of things that happened on Star Wars Day, games like Rocket League, Fall Guys, and Fortnite all got Star Wars content. Now, with Fortnite, they had the biggest Star Wars collaboration thus far in the game. They got some new Star Wars skins like IG-11, Moff Gideon, and Grogu as back bling, and even brought back all the previous Star Wars skins. They also included full-on Star Wars content into Battle Royale, Rocket Racing, Fortnite Festival, and of course, LEGO Fortnite. In fact, I actually played LEGO Fortnite on the channel because of the Star Wars update, and it was a lot of fun. They had Star Wars weapons, workbenches, bases, builds, quests, enemies, and much more. And that's not even the best part. For those that don't know, Epic Games is a studio behind Fortnite, and they just teamed up with Disney. Disney invested over $1.5 billion, with a B, not million, billion. And they are collaborating on an all-new games and entertainment universe featuring characters and stories from Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, Avatar, and more. So I'm interested, and I think that is going to be huge, because if you guys know anything about Epic Games, you guys know that they're super creative and they're going to make things happen with Star Wars. I'm sure we'll come to Fortnite, but maybe they might even branch out and do some things out of Fortnite as well. I mean, this is all speculation, but maybe they can create something like Disney Infinity, but on steroids. Like, there's the overall hub, but then there's an entire massive Star Wars section, and there's just games within games. Almost like how Fortnite functions, but completely Star Wars. Now, some other stuff that has come out on Star Wars Day was movie and show news. So, starting off with that, they dropped the entire season of Tales of the Empire, which is just like Tales of the Jedi. They also ended up bringing the entire Skywalker saga back into theaters for those marathon goers. So it was episodes 1 through 9, the entire Skywalker saga, with little breaks in between. Which, if I wasn't so busy, I definitely would have liked to have done this. So I hope they do this again. I would have probably left early, like skipping the sequels, but 1 through 6 sounds great in theaters. So if you did miss that opportunity like I did, I wouldn't worry about it, just because knowing Disney, I'm sure they're going to do it again at some point. I mean, why wouldn't they? It's free money for them, and they already did it for the Return of the Jedi anniversary, and they also just did it for the Phantom Menace anniversary. So I wouldn't be surprised if they would like to make more money off the good films again by bringing them back into theaters. Now, moving on to the next movie that will be coming out, we have LEGO Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy, and let me just say, wow, I am actually excited for this movie. In fact, I haven't been excited for any Star Wars movie or show in a long time. This movie just feels like a bunch of fans are coming together, getting creative, and don't have to worry about canon issues for continuity. So they have a lot of freedom to just do almost anything they want. And by the look of the trailer, so far I'm really excited. In fact, I'm planning on doing a watch party for this movie, and who knows, maybe it's about time that we start bringing the watch parties back on the channel. And if that is something you guys are interested in, let me know in the comments down below. This movie comes out on September 13th on Disney+. And speaking of things coming out on Disney+, there is a documentary of John Williams that will be available to watch on Disney+ on November 1st. And while we're on the topic of Star Wars movies, Disney announced a brand new Grogu movie that will be coming to theaters in 2026. Well, pretty much. They announced the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, so let's get into all the information that they've released so far about it. The Mandalorian and Grogu are embarking on a new adventure to movie theaters. It is directed by Jon Favreau and produced by Favreau, Kathleen Kennedy, and Dave Filoni. The Mandalorian and Grogu will go into production this year in 2024. And the director Favreau said that I have loved telling stories set in the rich world that George Lucas created. The prospect of bringing the Mandalorian and his apprentice Grogu to the big screen is extremely exciting. Then Kathleen Kennedy added to that, saying Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have ushered into Star Wars 2 new and beloved characters, and this new story is a perfect fit for the big screen. Yeah, I bet it is, Kathleen. I mean, who doesn't like an off-brand Jango or Boba Fett and a baby version of Yoda, which are obviously not new characters at all, but that's another conversation for another time. Because we all know Star Wars fans want more of this.
Ready. Begin! 3 points.
Aww, he's so cute! Cute! And this. And this.
No. Yes. Hey, Grogu, no. Give it no. Grogu, no. 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 Yes. 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 Yes.
But in all seriousness, they said that this new Mandalorian and Grogu movie will lead Lucasfilm's ongoing feature development slate, including films helmed by Charmin, which we'll talk more about here in just a minute, James Mangold, and Dave Filoni, which we've covered in a past news update video. This is the way. I think they meant to say, this is the only way. I've called this stuff out before, and they're just now starting to show their last cards. Pure desperation for this franchise. They're out grasping. Between this and partnering with Epic Games, man, they're trying to get sure bets now because they need it. But there you guys have it, a new Grogu movie, because let's be real, that's what it is. And at D23, the people that were there got an exclusive trailer for the film because they wanted to put something together for the last D23 before the movie comes out. They said that this movie is in the works and it will be the two's biggest adventure thus far, and in the sizzle trailer, it showcased all new footage, including Grogu and Din facing off with snowtroopers, massive Imperial AT-AT walkers in the snow, Zeb Orrelios in action, and capping off with Grogu traveling with 2 tiny Anzillions. Now, I can't show the trailer because it's copyrighted, but I can say I did get to see it, not because I was there, but because someone wanted to risk their YouTube channel by posting it. So overall, my thoughts on it were I wasn't impressed by the trailer. Yeah, they had a couple of cool things, but I also don't like it when they shove people just to shove people in there. And obviously by the description, you guys know that Zeb will be there. Overall, I just don't like where they're taking the story. I'm not excited for it, and even if the trailer was really good, I still don't think I'd be excited based on what Disney has done in the past. I mean, more often than not, Disney and Lucasfilm does a darn good job of making trailers, and they're able to sell more tickets by making more people interested in a variety of ways. And I think a lot of that has to do with the concept of the show. Like, it could actually be good, and they shove in characters that people like, but then they have a bad track record of not actually making a great show or movie that it appears to be from the trailer, which is kind of impressive at a surface level, but in reality, they don't execute the show or movie very well to the concept they show, and is just not what it seems to be, or as good as the trailer, in other words. Now, in regards to the new Rey movie that takes place 15 years after The Rise of Skywalker, so pretty much episode 10 without it being episode 10, they're weird, man. Just call it what it is. The director of that film, Charmin, has said some pretty interesting things, and instead of me just telling you guys, why don't I just show you?
We're in 2024 now, and I think it's about time that we had a woman come forward to shape the story in a galaxy far, far away.
Just to sort of walk into and have an understanding of the world. And at the heart of it, for me, is Rey Skywalker, is Daisy Ridley and her story, and taking her on an adventure to a Jedi Academy and sort of creating a world that is a natural dovetail to the story that we've seen her go through the last 3 episodes. And working with Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy and the team over there in breathing life to characters that everyone loves and has fallen in love with, and finding new characters that the next generation of moviegoers will fall in love with.
I think that I'm going to be one of those filmmakers, and every filmmaker has brought a fresh perspective, a set of experiences to that. And I'm most excited about creating a story that has Rey Skywalker, Daisy Ridley at the center of it, a Jedi Academy, sort of taking Rey's story in the future. And I bring with me my experience in storytelling, in creating characters that are faced with extraordinary challenges, and that's what Star Wars is all about.
So there you guys have it, and I've got a few thoughts. For starters, why can't they just focus on making a good story? Like, seriously, I knew something was up to begin with, because out of all the movies they can make, they decided to make episode 10 The New Order. That's all about Rey, when they know the sequels are controversial and that lots of people don't even like the character Rey. But this is just another classic example that they don't listen. So that's number 1. This film is actually happening. Number 2 is, what's the director's background? Does she understand Star Wars? And the answer is no. Based off of the fact that she wants this project, and that she's a Rey fan who thinks she's the center of Star Wars. And not only that, if you look at her background in filmmaking, you can see that she's known for documentaries such as Saving Face, which is about a harshly realistic view of violence against women in South Asia, and transgenders, Pakistan's Open Secret. And then she's done some work on Ms. Marvel. And I know that this isn't a Marvel channel, so let me fill you guys in. That show was considered a failure. I think it'd be safe to say that most Marvel fans didn't like that show at all, and that's her experience. So why is she directing a Star Wars film? I think I have a pretty good idea, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. What I do know is that she is not someone who I want directing a Star Wars film. And while we're talking about her background, there have been some people in the community that have said that she wants to make men feel uncomfortable, and I'll show you guys the clip that people have been talking about, but this is what she said in regards to her last project, Transgenders.
I like to make men uncomfortable. I enjoy making men uncomfortable. Not you, just not you. Not you.
Point taken. Point taken.
But, it is important to be able to look into the eyes of a man and say, I am here, and recognize that. And recognize that I am working to bring something that makes you uncomfortable, and it should make you uncomfortable because you need to change your attitude. And it's only when you're uncomfortable, when you're shifty, when you have to have difficult conversations, that you will perhaps look at yourself in the mirror and not like the reflection, and then say, maybe there is something wrong with the way I think, or maybe there is something wrong with the way I am addressing this issue.
But do I really need to say any more? Let's recap, shall we? Number 1, this is a film she wants to direct. Number 2, she doesn't understand Star Wars and thinks Rey's the center of it all. Number 3, she really has no experience in making a film like this. Number 4, look at the things she is saying and making and ask yourself, how is she in this position of directing a Star Wars film? Anyways, I just wanted to shed some light on what's going on there and share the updated news. I also wanted to make it clear that this movie is not canceled at the moment, and I feel like that's worth mentioning because I did see a lot of rumors that are saying it's canceled when there's no substance to those rumors at all. If it actually ends up being canceled, I'll be sure to let you guys know, as I always do. Now, moving to Star Wars shows, we have some updates in regards to Star Wars Andor Season 2. The actor that plays Cassian Andor, Diego Luna, has confirmed that he has finished filming and then reassured us that this is the last and final season, which will end up leading us into Rogue One, while warning that the stakes are greater, the enemies more organized, and the clock is ticking. And at D23, there was a sizzle shown for those that were there, and I wasn't there, so I didn't get to see it. But apparently in that sizzle, there was visual confirmation that Krennic and K2SO will return to the screen. Tony Gilroy, the creator of the show, promises an even larger scale and galaxy-encompassing vision for the second season. With peril at every corner, the next episodes in the series will drive towards the birth of the Rebel Alliance and the beginning of Rogue One. He continued to say that the last few episodes of the season will cover the last 3 days before Rogue One, and the season as a whole will cover over a gap of time, which honestly I prefer because I think that makes more sense for what they've set up in Rogue One. And finally, Season 2 of Andor will premiere on Disney Plus in 2025. And speaking of another show that's coming to Disney Plus and was revealed at D23, Star Wars Skeleton Crew just got its first trailer and it's here on the channel, so if you haven't checked it out yet, be sure to do so if you're interested. We also know that this show will be streaming this year on December 3rd. Now, moving on to Star Wars The Bad Batch, as you guys probably already know and have seen on the channel, the 3rd season came out and is the last and final season. I did kind of half watch it, and I will say it was by far the best season, but it still wasn't as good as it could have been. I feel like Sid honestly ruined that show, and it took a lot away from The Bad Batch and what the show could have been. I feel like all in, we actually got about 1 season worth of content, and for those that have watched the channel for a while, you guys know that The Bad Batch Season 2 was the straw that broke the camel's back, man. And that's when I stopped doing those watch parties because I just had no desire to watch anything Star Wars anymore because it was just lore-breaking failure and story failure every single time. And it was just getting to the point where it wasn't even entertaining. Yeah, so, look, now you're all going with me. Look how she's just taking control, dude, of the situation and moving the storyline. And they're just sitting back. Please, Sid's friend! Please, Sid's friend! Yes! Let's follow! I'm turning it off. I'm done. Screw this, man. I am so over it. Not interested. I don't even care if they change up the episode. I'm done. I'm not watching it. See ya. Nope. In fact, you know, keep it up because I'm about to cancel my Disney Plus subscription, so let's get it, baby. And when you get someone like me who loves Star Wars to not even be interested in any of your new movies or shows, you know you messed up bad. Lots and lots of times. But anyways, I don't want to get too deep into it because this is a news update, so I'll just save my breakdown and thoughts for that series. But speaking of shows that have come out and sucked, we have Ahsoka. So for those keeping an eye out on the channel with the trailers and streams, you guys know that Ahsoka was pretty much Rebels 2.0, which is what I predicted. I didn't even watch the show, but that's just because I'm not interested in seeing a bad show. At one point, there was like nothing for me to watch, so I tried putting on the first episode. And once I saw Sabine get stabbed, bro, and live, I'm like, I'm done. And just stopped watching it completely and still haven't watched any new Star Wars since, including The Acolyte, which we'll be talking about next. I even talked about stuff like this on my other channel, Great Clips, so if you're interested in that type of content, be sure to subscribe. Regardless though, they are continuing the show with a season 2 and is in development by Dave Filoni. Now, bridging into The Acolyte, it released with its first season and has received lots of backlash, and a lot of it is justified. In fact, it's been getting so much backlash from fans and casuals, the plans for season 2 are apparently canceled from some inside source from Lucasfilm, according to many news outlets, including The Hollywood Reporter and Deadline, which to be honest, I'm all for. They finally got a single hint. Now, I don't think this will be the case, but hopefully they will continue to adapt for the better and make good movies and shows with good stories, continuity, and lore. But once again, I haven't seen anything that would show that they would be willing to do that. Plus, they can't really fix what they've done unless they make it non-canon, which we know they won't do that. So we'll just have to wait and see what the future holds, and I'll continue covering all the news. Now, for those that know me, you guys know I really only report on the concrete confirmed stuff, but once in a while, if I think some leak is pretty credible, I'll mention it. And when I do, I'm always transparent about the information and tell you guys why I believe it, and this is one of those cases. So you can take this info with a grain of salt, because from my research, I haven't really found anything official saying that Season 2 is canceled. All I've seen is pretty much a bunch of news outlets bring up that they have an inside source in Lucasfilm saying it's canceled. Although I do think the evidence does point towards these sources being true. Why? Well, for starters, the show has been a failure and Disney knows this, so it wouldn't make much sense for them to make a Season 2. But then again, most of the things that they do don't make much sense, so I guess we can't get on that. Plus, they're not going to officially cancel Season 2 when Season 2 wasn't even officially announced, and I find it unlikely that a lot of different news reporters would have just made up an inside connection canceling Season 2 of The Acolyte when they all have the same source and have all come out around the same time. Now, for the last bit of news, George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars, has made some comments talking about the Star Wars sequels made after he sold Lucasfilm to Disney in 2012 for over $4 billion. So for a bit of context of the situation, just in case you haven't been around on the channel for its existence, or just been sleeping under a rock for the past decade, Disney has just been making a lot of bad movies and shows that go against what George put in place in terms of the lore and continuity with the first 6 films and the Clone Wars TV show. Basically what George built Star Wars to be, and it doesn't take a genius to see that. I know some people disagree with me there, and there's lots of people that tell me in the comments on some of my lore videos that I don't know Star Wars and I don't know the Force and this and that. Kathleen Kennedy knows Star Wars and she's worked with Lucas, but this is from the maker himself. Lucas said the new corporate bosses got a lot wrong. I was the one who really knew what Star Wars was, who actually knew this world, because there's a lot to it. The Force, for example. Nobody understood the Force, he said. That's why he was constantly on set for all the films, including Empire. He then says this about Disney's Star Wars: The Sequels. When they started the other ones after I sold the company, a lot of the ideas that were in the original sort of got lost. But that's the way it is. You give it up. You give it up. On another note, George also talked about how there's a lot of backlash from critics and fans from what he did in Star Wars about diversity, and this is what he had to say in regards to that.
I was as surprised as anybody in the first one and the first 3 that everybody from 5 years old to 85 years old liked it all over the world, everywhere. And that was, I said, wow, because there are certain aspects of that movie which say, they would say, well, it's not, it's all white men. I said, it's not. Most of the people there are aliens. And the idea is that you're supposed to accept people for what they are, even if they're big and furry, or whether they've got they're green and whatever. The idea is all of the people are equal. The only people that aren't, which was in there, are the robots. Well, you can't come in here. We don't like your kind here. So they were the only ones that were discriminated against, and that was a way of saying, people always discriminate against something, and sooner or later, that's what's going to happen. And we're already starting it with AI, saying, well, we can't trust those robots. I do it every day. I take my temperature. I have my, all my vital signs things. If it comes out wrong, I just say, well, I don't trust the robots. Whatever it is, we'll do it again tomorrow. So, but that was a main part of that movie, was to make people realize that everybody is equal, no matter where they're from, no matter what they look like. That is the important thing, and it's all over. The whole movie is that way. The other part of that was, they said, well, when they, the critics kept saying, well, what we mean is there's no black people in the movie. Well, in the first one, there were a few Tunisians who were dark, but in the second one, I had, Billy Williams, And in the third one, and in the new ones, which they were also criticizing, you know, I had Sam Jackson. He was like a, you know, he wasn't a scoundrel like, yeah, like
Lando.
But he was one of the top Jedi. He was like and he wanted to be in it so bad that all he really wanted was a purple sword. And so I said, great. No, but we paid him a regular salary, but the secret to Sam, who's a fantastic actor and has been in a gazillion movies, his agent said, don't tell him that, you know, we could get a big thing out of it. I said, look, it's a small part, it's the best I can do. I may be able to extend it to the other two movies, because this could be a key character. And but he did it for very little. But I gave him a percentage, but it wasn't net. It wasn't gross, it was net. And for us, because I was financing them myself, net and gross were the same thing. So we did that, but the other part of it was they said later on, when they were making more movies, they said, there's no women in the movies. I said, who do you think the heroes are in those films? What do you think Princess Leia was? She is the head of the rebellion. She's the one that's taking this young kid that doesn't know anything and this boisterous, I know everything guy who can't do anything and trying to save the rebellion with these clowns. I said, she's the hero of the movie. And it's the same thing with Queen Amidala. Even though she has Jedi on her side, she was still the hero prime mover. And they said, well, but there's no women, you know. I said, you can't just put a woman in pants and expect her to be a hero. You know, they can wear dresses, they can wear whatever they want. It's their brains and their ability to think and do and plan and be logistical, and you know, that's what the hero is. You know, yes, all the women, they couldn't do lightsabers, but they could shoot guns and they could, you know. And we also did a thing where we didn't really, we killed robots, stormtroopers, aliens, but we very rarely killed humans. You know, that was kind of an idea that goes through the movie, but everybody thinks of it as a movie where you kill everybody, but we don't.
So there you guys have it. I can go on and on with my thoughts in regards to the state of Star Wars, but I'm just going to cut it here for the news update, because after all, this video is about the news, and I may mention some of my surface level thoughts and 2 cents here and there, but for those that are more interested in my thoughts and want a dedicated video to hear me talk about this stuff, just let me know, because I normally don't get into this type of stuff, at least in a video sense. I do occasionally in live streams, but I still don't get too deep into it because I don't have all the evidence piled up ready to go, and it just kind of happens to come up in conversation. So if you are interested in a video like that, let me know in the comments down below. I normally do stay away from a lot of that stuff, like different comments that are made, because it just gets tied into drama real fast, and I know some of you guys come here to get away from all that crap, and I really don't like that stuff either, but anything you do nowadays stirs up drama, unfortunately. I would, of course, stay away from the drama, but at the same time, sometimes that's just where the news is, so it be what it be. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did and are interested in Star Wars, then this is the one-stop channel for you, so please consider subscribing and hitting that notifications bell down below so you never miss a video. It's all completely free, and you can unsub at any time. Also, please consider sharing and smashing that like button, only if you enjoyed, of course. And if you didn't like the video, that's cool too. Please feel free to dislike it. And if you guys have any constructive criticism for me on how to make these videos better, then please let me know in the comments section down below, so that way I can make better content in the future. Once again, I'm sorry. I do want to apologize for a lot of this stuff in the video being late. I really wanted to get this out sooner, but I've just been really busy, and there's only so much I can do in a day. So sometimes I just have to take it day by day, but know I am hard at work and moving forward, and that I'm back on track, baby, and content is starting to roll out. So let's get it. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. LBA all the way, and may the Force be with you always.
Duty.